Steven Seagal continues with what's made him a household name in action movies. Oh, nope, that's a lie. Seagal continues his descent into mediocrity with this one. Out for a Kill begins with a shootout at a nightclub in Bulgaria. This goes on for way too long. We get it, everyone's dead. Well, except this guy. He gets up and gets blasted one last time. And he's still holding the money. We're introduced to the crime syndicate headed by this guy. And he goes down the line of a who's who in the Chinese crime scene. There's no crime that they haven't touched. It turns out that they're the ones behind the prolonged massacre at the club. Now, is Seagal an ex-CIA agent in this movie? Maybe Special Forces or a retired military officer, perhaps? No to all of them. Here, he's a f***ing professor of archaeology at the prestigious Yale University, of course.
I think I can smell shite.
And here, he receives an award while his hot wife looks on. Yeah! Seagal and his assistant head off to China for an archaeological dig. The professor from Yale examines a Chinese artifact and spouts some knowledge to make you know that he's intelligent.
They're all hand-carved from jade.
At the storage house, they check out the artifact that they just dug up and find out it's been tampered with. Hey guys, that looks like drugs to me. They speed off with their discovery, but it looks like they've been found out by the bad guys who are now hard on their tails. Seagal thinks he's in the clear, but the goons catch up with them. They get shot at by poor CGI bullets, and the assistant gets hit. Then, by some miracle, they're able to escape the bad guys. Or maybe they got satisfied by killing the assistant. Who knows? Seagal gets arrested at a Chinese outpost and is accused of working with the criminals. This DEA guy and this Hong Kong cop are on the hunt for the crime boss.
I don't know this man. You know what it is? I'm innocent.
Right.
Seagal denies everything and gets thrown in jail with this guy. But he just stays for a day because the cops get him released. It seems to me like Seagal formed some kind of friendship in jail.
Don't forget about me, Burns!
The big boss is not too pleased with Seagal being released, so it's on to stage 2 in the operation. Terminate Yale Professor.
Let's do it. It's go time.
Back in New York, Seagal attends the vigil of his dead assistant to pay his respects. He gets into a poetic exchange of words with the father.
Allow no dust to cling.
There is no mirror. There is no dust. Only the mind's light.
A couple of monks now bow to Seagal, but wait a minute. They're actually assassins out to kill him! 30 minutes into the movie and we get our first fight scene with Seagal? And who is this monk fighting with? What the f***? Seagal wastes no time and makes quick work of these fools with their flimsy swords.
Flawless victory.
He notices some Chinese words tattooed on the arms, which I guess will be important as the movie progresses. I'm really trying to stay interested at this point. The big boss gets word of the beatdown. He discovers that Seagal was once called the Ghost back in the day because he could slip in and out with no one knowing. Ask his wife. He was actually a thief of expensive art, but got caught by the cops. Nevertheless, he used his knowledge of Chinese artifacts to earn his doctorate degree in prison. And now he's a professor. Seagal goes out for dinner with his wife, which can only mean one thing. His wife is going to meet the chopping block soon.
Ah, shit.
These henchmen make bold threats, and Seagal is not having any of it.
We will kill your wife.
Ooh, it's not a Seagal movie without an arm breaker.
Oh, that's gonna hurt!
Lots of innocent people are getting shot. Seriously, how does Seagal get called the Ghost when he leaves a trail of bodies everywhere he goes?
Bruh.
Yes, and the tattoos once again. You know, clues. These two cops appear again at the scene and are 2 steps behind every time. I'm beginning to question their competence. Back at home, Seagal's home gets blown up, with his hot wife still inside.
Robert.
Seagal is definitely going to be extremely mad now. Well, you can't really tell because he only has one expression that he ever wears on his face. He goes to the pilot who flew him in China, but Seagal figures out the pilot is working for the Chinese and tries to squeeze some information from him by flying like a f***ing madman.
I don't know any Alex fucking Bond!
Where can I find it?
Chinatown!
Seagal gets the lead to a barber shop in New York's Chinatown. He's greeted by some unsavory characters. Now this barber strikes first, and Seagal can't be bothered to even stand up to fight.
Bruh.
He appears to be raised by monkeys or has some kind of superhuman power. How is that even humanly possible?
What the f?
Seagal's had enough of him, so his stunt double steps in. He asks him where his boss is, but instead strangles him. Nice going, Professor. Kills a lot. The cops are at the scene once again, and Seagal has some choice words.
You cost me the life of my wife. Stay out of my life. Stay out of my way.
That was so convincing. I almost believed he cared about this movie. Nah, no. Seagal also manages to convince her to release his cellmate. Remember this guy? Lady, how about just focusing on catching the big bad?
Okay.
Seagal then overhears something going on at the back. It's a gambling den with an underboss inside. He quickly makes a dash for it while Seagal chops down these guys.
What the f?
Seagal chases him down to a dead end. He says a line from Sun Tzu or something,
Distant waters cannot quench your thirst.
but Seagal just ties him and shoots him up the express elevator. He has nowhere else to run, so they start slap fighting like 2 girls quarreling with their hands. Their hands get so entangled that Seagal throws him out of the windows. Seagal picks up the boss's ledgers and figures out where to go next. Next stop is Bulgaria, where he goes snooping around in what turns out to be a money laundering site.
Now, give me money.
He somehow gets another lead to this place, where he does the non-Seagal thing and climbs up a pipe. Seems like he's making up for all the sitting down he's done. Seagal gets more clues and shoots a couple more dudes. The cops follow the obvious trail of blood. In Bulgaria, she ends up in a drug den while her partner gets jumped by guards and is thrown in the basement. The girl gets caught in a pickle, but of course, Seagal shows up and saves the day. This bad guy is having none of it and jumps out the f***ing window.
What the f?
Seagal pursues the underboss in a budget chase scene and crashes royally. Before he gets his neck broken, he reveals the crime boss's headquarters.
Somewhere in Paris.
Damn!
So now it's off to Paris. In a creepy turn of events, Seagal breaks into the cop's hotel while he's sleeping. To do what, you ask? To discuss the case.
Tattoo the symbol.
What is wrong with
Seagal, why are you the way you are? They show a green screen of the Eiffel Tower just to let you know where you are. Thanks for the heads up. Seagal discovers the money laundering location and goes toe-to-toe with the boss. He doesn't even break a sweat launching a 250-pound man in the air.
What the f?
He gives up the location, and the professor is on his way to get the main guy. Finally! These two geniuses follow Seagal's trail of blood. Of course, how else can they get things done? But they get ambushed right outside. The poor guy didn't see it coming. Seagal just happens to be in the right place and saves her. And what do you know? The crime hideout is just down the road.
Bruh.
Seagal goes in and finds the boss, who has never stood up, not even once. It looks like he took a look at Seagal and said, "I too can sit on my lazy ass just like you." Seagal finally meets the person responsible for his wife's death. He has all that pent-up rage inside. So what does he do? He gives a winding speech in a soft-spoken voice.
Rain flies above a river. I believe this is the river that I've solved, filled with red.
The bald boss man can't take it anymore, so he stands up, finally, and bombs his own place like a madman. He makes his way out and gingerly walks to his car. Seagal sees the sword, and since he can't be bothered to carry his own weight to catch up, he flings the sword like a f***ing knife and decapitates Baldy. What the actual f*** am I watching?
God!
The limo leaves the dead body behind like nothing happened. Seagal uses the clues on the arm tattoos to open the safe. And gets the stash of whatever knowledge the boss had. At this point,
No,
honestly,
God,
who
please,
even gives a shit?
No!
Seagal leaves the burning building, walking past the guy whose head is probably getting kicked around like a football. Seagal finally lays his deceased wife to rest, and one can see that his spirit is deeply broken. But after 2 minutes of sadness, he's off to the next girl. The police chick, who else? I have never been so happy to see the end credits of any movie. I'm gonna go punch a fucking wall now.